Hi, this is Tim with Shop Tool Reviews. This is the new G1811 from Ingersoll Rand, and as part of their 12-volt lineup, we're going to be putting it to work here in a few moments, so stick around. This is the Ingersoll Rand G1811 12-volt belt sander. Now this is part of their IQ V12 platform, which is their 12-volt platform of tools. And as you see here, the tool comes with the 2 batteries and the charger. When you get it with the kit, you also get 6 different belts with it as well. Now the neat thing about this tool is it's not a stationary position. Easily, by pushing the red button on top here, you can adjust this to 8 different positions to be able to work that belt into different areas you need to get to. Now, we've already used this for a few jobs around the shop, and we were really impressed with it. And it's a great tool to be able to get in the tight spots, to be able to get in crevices, or even get through a hole, even remove spot welds. The rubber overmold design is something that Ingersoll Rand has kind of perfected over the past few years with some of their new cordless tools. And it works really well at not only ergonomically being fit in your hand and feel comfortable to your hand, but also resisting oils, brake fluids, transmission fluids, those types of things that usually make those overmolds kind of swell up. This does a great job of resisting those, as well as drop or fall protection also. Now you see, it comes with the trigger lock here, so you can't just grab this tool and start it when you got your hand on it or something like that. So you do have to flip that down, but you can still do one-handed operation to operate that tool. So the top red button adjusts that head, as we saw already, and this button here is actually a release for when you want to change this belt. And to change this belt, it's really easy. You just slide this in, although it takes a little bit of force, and now that's locked in, and you can remove your belt, and you can put your new one on. So you can just put it back there on that back pulley, and then it slides on here, and then you easily just press the button, and now your belt's on, and you can go to your sanding or grinding. Although it is great for sanding, removing paint, removing rust, really where these tools shine is removing spot welds. I wanted to do some runtime testing to see actually how long the tool would last on a battery, maybe even how long the belt would last. So we've got a fender, we're going to remove some spot welds and see how it does. You can see these spot welds here on this fender. Obviously we need to take those off if we were to remove fender bracing. Obviously this fender's trash, you wouldn't do this on a fender, but on body parts of a car you definitely would. In total, we removed 23 spot welds off that fender. We removed a couple of the braces. There's one brace still left on there. But basically, when you're removing things off a car like that, removing spot welds, typically part of the unibody or something like that would be left on the car. And then what you'd have left over would be things like this. So that needs to be cleaned up as well. So when you go to put the new panel back on, you can weld it back up. So this is a great tool for that as well. Then you can easily grab this and clean up that residual that's left over, flatten that out, what have you. Now I was very impressed that we got 23 spot welds and we still got 2 cells left on the batteries. So basically we used about half the battery and did 23 spot welds. I didn't think we'd get that far with a 12-volt tool, so it obviously runs pretty efficient. And I was not being really easy with this tool. I was trying to bear down on it and really get in it. We were impressed with the 23 spot welds we got with half a battery basically. It did go through a couple of belts, and that's probably not fair. Probably maybe call it 1.5 belts, because the belt I had on there, I'd already used it on a couple of things, but it did go through a belt and a half. So you will be replacing belts from time to time. But again, 23 spot welds, it's probably more than one job, I would guess. These belts aren't that expensive, but I did want to note that we did use more than one belt in removing those 23 spot welds. Now, another thing that was interesting with this tool as well was you saw very little sparks. Unless I really leaned on it, you don't see any sparks. That's much different than a grinding wheel or a cutoff wheel when you're trying to grind these spot welds out. So you got less of a fire hazard when you're using the G1811. In addition to the spot welds, this is just a very handy tool to have around, so you can get in those crevices, polish something up or deburr something. We really like it. It's built very well. You can see the construction here. You've got the polished aluminum. It's very firm in the hand when you're actually moving these to different positions. It locks in very well. Just a well-built tool. Again, check it out. It's the G1811 from Ingersoll Rand. I think you can pick this up for around $300 for the kit. You get the two 12-volt batteries. You get the charger. And the neat thing about the Ingersoll Rand chargers, you got a nice USB port there as well. So when you're charging your tools, you can also charge your phone. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and have a great day.